Hello, everybody, and welcome to KSB TV, our weekly stream today. Abid is missing today, but I have an awesome guest today, K4K Crypto. How is it going? Hello.
Hey, how's it going, HEX Lion? Too bad we don't have
Really
Abit,
good,
but
really good.
I think he'll be able to do the job finally. So excited to be here.
Yeah, and awesome that you made it. Yeah, actually, also on Kryptosparbuch on our German channel, we never got to interview you, right?
I don't think so. Other than at the PulseChain conference in the golf tournament area, I think there was like a stream
Mhm.
going on, and I got on that for a bit. But I don't think an
Okay.
official
Yeah.
YouTube only one. Yeah.
I also think so, yeah. So, as it's your first interview on our channel, I will go ahead and ask you the three questions we are asking everybody who is new for an interview on our channel. First one would be, when did you start your journey in the crypto market in general?
Oh man, so good. In 2017 is when I first started learning about Bitcoin and got into Bitcoin as soon as I could. And that's like when I first tried to get a wire to buy some Bitcoin, and the bank was like asking me all these extra questions about where are you sending it to? Like they were asking all these questions like KYCing me and all this stuff because I had all these savings saved up because I like never spend money. And I wanted to get into crypto because I'd seen it go from 1K to 5K, and I'd heard about it way back when it was like super cheap. And I
Mhm.
just thought it was like this internet money, and I was like, why would you need that? Why do you need online currency? And and I didn't like how the banks were super nosy into my business on how I spent my money. And then I just kept learning and learning and learning. Got into some altcoins in 2017. You make lots of money, you lose lots of money, and then I just stuck with it the whole time. Always kept some invested, like a long term amount. Uh, but yeah, learn a lot along the way. That's when I got into crypto, 2017.
All right, and then when did you got into Hex? When did you heard about Hex?
Ooh, well, of course, I followed Richard ever like even before the Roger Ver debate. I somehow came across him. That's probably like the first one I can remember that was I remember watching. Uh, but I definitely went down the rabbit hole of all of his self-help stuff, watched all of his videos. Like I loved the one where he was like, one way to get rich, and he just basically tells people starting from nothing, you can just buy stuff cheaper somewhere, get it yourself, and then sell it for more in your local area, and that's how you can build up enough money. And then you have enough for inventory, and then you can scale that into a store. You can get a first employee, and then you have enough time after that employee's doing your old job to think about the new thing. And I was like, where I've never heard this amazing advice before. It sounds like obvious now, but I love that he was like a great businessman, and all he was doing is trying to help new people. And then he just also started talking about Bitcoin, and it seemed like he knew a lot more than everybody else did at the time about crypto because
I
it
know
was
what you mean, yeah.
such controversial topics. Like you hear everyone else talking about Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin's like gravity. It's like third law of thermodynamics. It won't ever change. Like it's like And then there's Richard who's like, yeah. Well, he was against Ethereum and stuff at first, and he was comparing them. So of course he was talking about how great Bitcoin was, and I was just learning so much, such good, dense information. And it was so much better, real information about markets, blockchain, trading, market cycles. All that stuff was all throughout his videos constantly because he knew the value of repeating good information. And so all of his stuff, like people get tired of it after seeing his stuff for years, but it's really good information. And so that's why I say the same things over and over again too, because it's important for the new people to hear it. And so I could tell that he was very intelligent and he knew more than most of the other Bitcoin OG people out there. He seemed more well off and he knew what he was doing. So I followed Richard a long time ago, got into Hex. I knew about Bitcoin Hex, the self-refer. I got a bunch of people to use. I had a referral link back then. I wasn't known at the time, but I remember seeing the Hex on the Pirate Bay, the referral link there and stuff. So yeah, I remember hearing about the CFD token and everything before he switched to Bitcoin Hex and all that. So since the very beginning, I've been in Hex.
Awesome, awesome. So then you know about Hex pretty good. So what is your favorite thing about the Hex game series? What do you
I
like the
love.
most?
Oh, I love. I love that there's no need to sell hex. Whereas in Bitcoin, you have to sell hex because that's the security, or not sell hex. You have to sell Bitcoin for the
Yeah.
security model as the miners keep the network secure, and they're constantly updating the code and stuff, which leads to possible new bugs. Whereas hex will not be updated; it just works for 1,000 days, which we didn't know at the time, so it was risky in that regard. But now that's kind of gone. But I love the fact that the interest you make and forces people to save themselves and think into the future. Because I think people make better decisions for themselves overall when they think about their future self more so than just what do I want right now. If you're always thinking about what you want right now, well, then you end up just having all these bad things happen to you because you haven't thought about the future ahead of time. So I think Hex kind of monetized thinking about the future, and that really helps people. And you don't have to sell the new inflation because you don't have any extra negative externalities that make you sell the price down. That's why we have such great price
Mhm.
performance.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah, and I'm curious, like, to find out what's coming next, like for Hex. So
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that we are that the Hex price is still like pretty event driven. Because everybody's still waiting for PulseChain launch and so on. So I'm curious to find out like what the near future and the Hex price will be.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I mean that's exciting, super exciting for anybody hearing about this opportunity now, because you're kind of getting the opportunity of getting in almost years and years ago in Hex because I think like what was it over a year ago we were below a penny or whatever, so you're almost there, and you get the opportunity to buy that dip again. That's huge. That's huge. It's a huge opportunity. So I'm excited about all the people who are going to get in around these prices. They're going to have a great future in my mind.
And yes, you're right. So 3 cents last time we had that was in May uh, last year, so in May 2021, and we only had it like for for a few days. What I remember, because like we
Right, you just
got
ran up.
yeah, we just ran up back then, and yeah, I agree. A perfect opportunity. So you also think the bottom is in? Because I would think so. I think that Hex will not go lower than it was, like the 2.7
Oh yeah,
cents.
yeah, like
So
2.7, 2.8. Yeah, I mean, who knows what will happen if Bitcoin drops in half again to 11K, 10K, maybe Ethereum 600. Like if that happens, I feel like that would draw down Hex a little bit more, but maybe we do our own thing, maybe we're on our own cycle. We just haven't we don't know our full 4-year cycle for Hex yet because we haven't had 4 years. So we could be doing our own thing. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this. Like, I know we're in the bear market, but this is the best bear market I've ever been in. The 2018 before Hex, it was like, you just watch your bag dying. You're not gaining any yield. There's nothing to look forward to. You're kind of just like, this is gonna suck for a while. This is just gonna be bad. But I didn't have the community back then. Going through that the first time, I actually had a little smaller, different community, but this one is way better. Like I was in this one Discord group,
I agree.
but it wasn't like a paid group or anything. It was just a bunch of. It was mostly trader guys, but they'd have big Twitter followings who would come in. They're huge guys now on Twitter, but I remember talking to them directly in voice channels and stuff back when they only had like 10 or 20K followers. Now they got like 500,000, stuff like that. So talking with all those guys at the time who were they were doing like trading, selling courses and stuff, and I was just like, what are you? I could see what they were doing, but I knew that it wasn't
Mhm.
good long term. And I was so thankful when Hex finally came out that had all of those great foundational principles built into it, where
Mhm.
it's the most simple possible investment thing you can do with the maximum return, and you don't have to interact with it. You don't have to trade. That's why I feel like it's such a great opportunity. I feel guilty not sharing the opportunity with people. I'm like, when I get like, I just feel like I want everybody to be up there with us,
Mhm.
because I told them about it at the bottom, not me up there all by myself with only a small community. I want as many of the people in the world as possible to be experiencing this amazing wealth transfer.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. And you know, one beautiful thing for me about Hex or like good cryptocurrencies in general is that you only have the risk of the price movement. You don't have any other middleman risk. You know, you don't have the
Yes.
risk that
Yeah.
tomorrow the program the coding is not there anymore. Yeah, you don't have the risk that tomorrow somebody decides to inflate this currency by 10% or something like that. Yeah, like they do
Yeah.
with fiat currencies. So
Or code
it
updates.
really is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with the audited smart contract, nobody ever needs to code in the system again. So it's just done. It's complete. You know, and that's what I really like. You know, a lot of people are telling me like, yeah, but the crypto is so risky. You know, and I honestly I don't think so. You know, because you
Yeah.
only have the price risk. So if you're making your research, you know, like how to identify cryptos who are done, who are complete, who are audited, who have a viral community, who have like a coin or a thing which has product market fit, then most
Yep.
of the time it's a little timing decision as well. Yeah, like don't buy like the all-time high. But in general, it's just a waiting game, you know, because if you're in those good things in each and every bull market, they will go up.
Yep. And to speak on like the riskiness of it, I think it's risky to not be in cryptocurrency. Have you if you see where the world's going with these CBDCs
True.
and freezing bank accounts over sandwich money, in Canada, you're like, it's not getting better. You're not getting more good outcomes happening in the banking industry. It seems to be they continuing to reduce the value of the dollar over and over and over, year after year. You get more taxes
Mhm.
every year, not less. All this stuff builds up to be like, wow, what's the one thing I can get into where I have full control of it and the value is actually decided by the real market? And I think that's
Mhm.
cryptocurrency only. It's basically cryptocurrency only as the option of where you can store your wealth, and it can't be like confiscated unfairly. Like, of course, anybody has the ability to sell their position, but there's no central authority that's like, you know what, we're going to print a trillion more of this supply, and sorry about the value of your
Yeah.
stuff. It's just you can buy less now, and you're like, I didn't vote for that. I didn't ask for that. I don't have any power over that. The only thing you can do is get into cryptocurrency and actually preserve your wealth into the future, and you can actually buy more in the future whenever you invest in cryptocurrency, in my experience, as opposed to if you save in the dollar, you end up buying less over time instead of more. So saving in cryptocurrency
What are
actually
you?
allows you to buy more in the future.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But for example, what are you telling those people who are arguing like, yeah, but just look around, like governments will destroy all cryptocurrency and they will make like all the centralized exchanges illegal, and then you're just in your own bubble and cannot get in or out.
Well, you can eventually, that's why we do need more onboarding as well. So that it once everybody has a wallet, there's not really any stopping it because it's just peer to
Yeah,
peer. I'm paying you and here you go instantly across the globe for almost no cost at all. And who's going to
yeah.
stop it?
Uh,
Nobody.
it's also
It's all
my argument.
decentralized. So and if people are saying that they're like they think the government's that bad that they'd cancel all this stuff, giving power back to the people, doesn't that mean we should get even more involved in supporting it? If the government is that bad already that you think they're gonna stop this because of the power it gives back to people, I think that's a call on how we need even more intervention and people in politics to delay making bad laws about crypto, and also we need just more adoption in general in crypto. If we have all these tyrannical governments running around trying to control everybody's transactions, everybody's privacy deleted, like that stuff's got to be fixed. And I think cryptocurrency is one of the only ways to do that. So, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Actually, did you hear about the things what the KSBTV team is about to do in the next couple of months, or what we are doing currently, and all the stuff? Like, what are the coming events from our side?
I could name a couple things you want that I think are going on. Should I just? I guess I think you guys are doing the Million Pulse tour. That's coming up.
Yeah,
There's
that's coming up. More details on that will be released when we have PulseChain live,
right.
because
Makes-
that's like the ground layer there, that we need to have PulseChain in order to do the 1 million Pulse tour. You know.
right, right. Are you guys? Would you guys have already started if it was out already?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know the initially, initially, you know that we did the 5555 tour,
Yep.
and we started that in September last year. And initially, we thought the Pulse chain will come out in October, because
Mm,
back then, nobody knew about Pulse X, and everybody thought, okay, now sacrifice phase is over. A few weeks after, we will have the chain live, because like Richard was like just talking like, a few minor changes, and then we are good.
yeah. Yeah, I think as they get closer to the deadline, or I don't know if they had a deadline, but closer to launching, you get into the details of, and you find certain things that you're like, is this an attack vector? Well, not fully, but we'd rather not have this issue. Let's try and fix it. It's bear market anyway. That's what I can. That's how I reason about it. It just makes sense
Yeah, me
to,
too.
as you get
Me too.
closer to the end of software, you realize once you launch it,
Mhm.
you there's no taking it back. So you really do have to have all of your stuff lined up and working properly. And we have that awesome, I don't know what you call it. It's not a motto, but 100% flawless operation since launch for Hex is nice, and I like that. And I think
Mhm.
that's a great selling point, because most other things in crypto like don't have that. They get hacked.
Yeah, yeah.
There's an inflation bug.
I mean, also like top 10 coins, yeah, who have their own blockchain. I will name one, like Solana. A lot of people liked it, but they were down 8 times in the last 12 months or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, they're down all the time, and that wrecks people. It would be a great marketing, and it's really what should be expected, like from a blockchain, to not be down all the time. That doesn't that doesn't drive confidence to the chain. I think it'll be a great selling
Yeah,
point for us when we
actually,
do
to not
launch.
be down at all, to not be down at all, because like that's what blockchain's idea was, like from the get-go, that you have a system where you can transact 24/7 with anybody you want to, or with anybody who also have a wallet. And
Right.
a blockchain itself should never be down. That's like the ground idea of the thing, right?
Right. Like it could be argued like Solana launched too early to have issues like that. You know, we're doing
Yeah,
the
but then it's like the greedy argument. Then somebody needed to enrich himself there, no? Because if
yep.
you if that's not the case, you can wait and launch on a testnet first, like PulseChain did.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious how long Solana was in development. I haven't actually looked into that. Like how long did they work on that, you know? But
Oh yeah,
there's also
I
lots
also.
of reasons I would rather be on Pulse Chain than Solana. Like all of the developers on Ethereum are officially Pulse Chain developers, like because it's the same code. And so it's an EVM fork. And so you kind of
Mhm.
easily onboarded all of the developers of Ethereum, and everyone on Ethereum is getting an airdrop. So that just seems way better
Yeah,
than,
I would also say like more the developers on Ethereum, like those developers who are developing new projects and so on, rather than like the Ethereum developer itself. I mean, Ethereum core developers, how much are there? Five?
yeah, yep.
So,
Yeah, we had all those guys who know how to make projects and can drive traffic to Pulse Chain. Maybe they're building stuff we think is subpar, but they have communities who are going to get eyeballs onto Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Hex stuff that is
Mhm.
likely to not wreck them. And I think they're going to see that. And I think people are going to see a lot of good price performance. of things on PulseChain that aren't even PulseChain or PulseX, just because they're tied to the liquidity of Pulse and PulseX and stuff like that. So just being tied to good performing assets because they're built and designed well is good for price performance. Like we saw that pair of socks, unisocks, go up to like $80,000 just because it was paired with Ethereum. Are socks worth $80,000? No, but just because of how the AMM system worked, it allowed us to have insane price performance on something just because it was paired to the main asset. So I'm very excited for PulseChain. I think
Yeah, in my point of view, you always need to say two things, like this thing because it was paired, and because nobody in the actual currency or nearly nobody sold. That's also like another thing because you can pair with Ethereum your token, and then let's say it makes a 10x, but it only makes like another 10x if the people in your currency also like hold back, and don't start selling it off.
right. Yeah, it's important to have a community of if you the people you want to hold a coin with are people who have long-term uh, prospects, long-term vision for
Yeah,
the future.
yeah.
Otherwise, they're in the trading game, they're destroying their own life, and they're also hurting the price. So I love it's almost getting into anything that the Hex community or Richard builds with his community is just seems like a no-brainer to me. Of course, you got to do your due diligence on tokenomics and choose what you think is best. But we have a community of long-term thinkers and long-term planners. We have people who have money locked up millions for 15 years. No other community has that. Just us. That's us. So
And
I'm very excited.
because you said we have such an awesome community, and I absolutely agree. I mean, the 5555 tour, we did it because of the Hex community. I have also something more to show you. We got an intro, no, we got a promotion video done for the Hex birthday, and Hex birthday is 2nd of December,
Yep.
and we are going to celebrate it in San Diego this year. And we start on the 1st in the evening, and on the 2nd the actual birthday party with yacht over midday, and then in the evening a nice nightclub party, and on the 3rd we have like a chill out, a relaxed party, a rooftop, a pool party.
Awesome, man. I haven't heard about
So
that. I didn't
Yeah. No.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, I just heard about that today. So is that like was that the first showing of that?
Of this video, this was the first showing on one of the live streams. Yeah, I mean we also published the short video, the clip yesterday, what I remember, and yeah. So what we are going to do first till the 3rd of December, as pretty nicely explained in the video, we meet on the 1st in the evening in the bar of the Hard Rock hotel in San Diego, and then on the 2nd go to the harbor, and we have on the yacht, it's a 40-person yacht, and we already have secured 30 spots, so 30 Hexicans are already confirmed for the yacht. So if you want to be part of the whole 3-day experience, including the yacht, the nightclub, the rooftop bar, and the pool party, and 3 hotel nights as well, with it's like
Yep.
what the VIP package includes. There the tickets are going pretty quickly. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
only like 10 yacht party tickets left. And then for everybody in the area, or for everybody who just wants to come for the actual Hex birthday, on the 2nd, you can obviously also get just the nightclub ticket, or just like the pool party ticket, or the rooftop,
Mhm.
on December 1st, the rooftop bar, like the meetup ticket, so to speak.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've enjoyed thoroughly every single Hex or PulseChain meetup I've gone to, which is 2, and they've been
Me too.
amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
I've only
In
gone
my
to
case, it's
2.
like 50.
Yeah. The people are the best part. Every conversation is a good one, in my experience. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a different dynamic, I feel, and it feels way more real, even though a lot of us are already in this thing for like 15 years, and it's real for us, real money invested, and the relationships online are always, at least in my experience, they've always been very, very good. But in person, it's even more real and even more fun, and you get to get a deeper connection with everybody, and it's powerful. You get to meet so many different types of people, and I wouldn't I wouldn't want to miss some of these events, though I understand some people's situations don't allow for that. But once you are able to, I think it's worthwhile for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, what we are concentrating ourselves on is that we are creating awesome experiences for Hexicans, at events which lead up to further increase and build up the community itself. And that's why we came up with the Hex birthday. Also last year we celebrated the Hex birthday, we in New York and Richard in London.
Mhm.
And Maddie made like a live stream about like both locations. That was pretty cool. And this year we are celebrating in San Diego. And I have another thing what I will show you in like 2 minutes or in a minute. It's called the Hexi Awards, and those Hexi Awards are like different categories where everybody can vote for his or her favorite Hexican right now, and bring the votes in, and then we will have a ceremony of the Hexi Awards on the Hex Cruise. So the Hex Cruise
Oh.
is something we are also working on. That's like an event for next year that will take place from the 24th to the 28th of April 2023. And it is a 4-night cruise going from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas and back. And in our point of view, that is really the best community building event we could do for the Hexicans, or for the Richard Hart ecosystem a little bit more general. But it will be the Hex Cruise, so
Awesome.
mostly Hexicans. Because why? So the thing is, at first you're like together on the boat. It's like everybody is kind of in the same place when there is food, for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. You see each other more often. You can have like nice activities on the boat. You can make awesome activities outside the boat, like when we are on the Bahamas. And what I found out during our experiences with all those meetups, with all those workshops, and so on, is that the Hexicans are also interested in educational content, but most of the educational content they get already from YouTube, for example. So in order to make like community building events, it is way more beneficial to make meetups or get-togethers and something like that style than just like educational events. And that's why we came up with Hex Cruise, and I really think that that's an awesome idea in order to build up the community, to strengthen the community, and for the newer Hexicans to get to know their favorite streamer, for example, and for the older Hexicans to just have an awesome time, like with the OG meetups as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually been on a cruise, so maybe the Hex Cruise is the best possible start for me. I don't know if I'm going yet, but would you say it's in April?
It's end of April next year. If you want to secure your ticket right now, it's only $100 per person, and the rest payment would be only in February next year. So you can go ahead and already like reserve your spot. It's only $100 right now, and then the rest is in February. And then another nice thing there is like. You can bring your family, you can bring your grandma, you can bring your mom, you can bring your kids, because on the boat there is like plenty of activities. It's one of those huge cruise liners. And then you can also bring like your anti-crypto family or your no coiner friends or something like that.
Wow. I mean, they'd have to be pretty open-minded if they're no like anti-crypto to come on a Hex Cruise, and then you convert them. But that'd be pretty cool. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited. I love
because
these events you guys are coming up with.
yeah, and there will be other people like normal people like anti-crypto people on the boat as well, because we didn't get ahead and like rented the whole boat. We don't want to have like all this risk and then like all this responsibility of selling out. I don't know, like 2,000 tickets or something like that. So what we just did, we looked up a nice cruise liner, which fits us, and they will do this trip either way, with the Hexicans or without the Hexicans. So if we get 50 people up there, okay. If we
Right.
get 555 people up there, even better. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that's
this
smart.
way, we don't need to fundraise. We don't need to prepay. We don't need to look for sponsors. We can just do our own thing, and it benefits nobody individually, but it benefits everybody.
Yeah. And one of the great things about the meetups is, I mean, for me, it reinvigorates my fervor for this community and the project as a whole. Because you just meet so many real people, and you're like, well, these guys are all in just like I am. It's kind of validation. Um, Even though we should all, internally validate, it's cool to see it outside as well from other people also sharing the same opinions on this stuff, like very smart people.
Mhm.
So meeting very smart people who also are on the same page is like, all right, I like that. I like to see that. It makes me excited for what's to come in the future, events we're to have. Yeah, agree.
And I right now I also heard from Kaylin that we already have like 60 Hexican travelers confirmed for the Hex Cruise. Like next year in April, there is still plenty of time, and now in the
Nice.
bear market, people are less likely to make holiday plans.
True. Yeah,
Um,
that is interesting planning things during a bear market because the way I see it, every dollar invested now instead of spent otherwise is multiplied by a way larger amount. Whereas if you're in the bull market and we're going to have a dip later, it's almost better to go do events.
yeah,
So, but yeah, that's why I say, if people can swing it, they should go to these events because it's worthwhile. But don't feel like you have to be there over setting yourself up for your future self, setting your future self up with getting some hex stakes out there.
and for those people, for example, like we did it with the golf tournament, we also had this day-long live stream going on our channel, so that they can also be part, and
Mhm.
still enjoy it. And actually, like something like the cruise, for what it offers, like 4 nights and going from Fort Lauderdale to Bahamas and back, including all the food, is pretty affordable in my point of view, because you can also go with one of those inside cabins, which don't have a window. But actually, if you're among the Hexicans, how much will you use your room? Only to have
Right,
a shower and to sleep, actually.
right.
So and I mean, I personally I love it when it's really dark when I want to sleep. Yeah.
True. Yeah,
So
me too. Me
I
too.
don't care too much, for a few days if this room would have a window or not. And that's like a pretty affordable option, for example. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's how much is it for the like you put 100 down? How much is it for the full ticket to the cruise?
it always depends like what type of room you have.
Oh yeah,
If you're alone or if you're a couple.
it's all on
Maybe
hexcruise.com.
Grilling can it's all on hexcruise.com. Yeah. So like if you go further, in the reservation process, then you get the list of room contingents available and prices. But the lower end is about $500 per person total.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, for 4 days. Yeah.
Yeah, because like
Yeah, I hadn't
they're
checked
all
it. I'd only
inclusive.
heard that there
Also
was a
has
cruise
like
coming up.
drinks and so. Yeah. So pretty cool. Please go ahead and look it up. And what we will do on the cruise is we will have the ceremony of the Hexi Awards. And for that, I will go ahead and share my screen here. So if you go in ksb.tv and then just scroll on the main page, you will see like a pop up like vote here, and then there is a link. The link brings you here on the Google form. And yeah, here I'm already like at the first content at the first no, how do you call it in English? The first
The first
category.
option. Yeah.
Yeah, the first category. So who do
Category.
you
Yeah.
think is the most consistent hex content creator? Or you can name more, so you don't need to just name one. You
Oh, are we
can.
actually going to name them right now?
Yes, of course. We have to give the audience like an idea, like who could fit there,
True. Let's see. Most consistent. I mean, let's see. Definitely like, well, I mean, you guys make consistent content, but like, I mean, I don't keep up with everybody's content, so maybe I'm not the best person to ask on this one. Like, I watch every once in a while of everybody's, if that makes sense. So I don't actually know if they're uploading every single day. Let me think.
I mean,
I would
I
say,
give
I
you
would say Crypto
some
Coffee.
yeah.
Oh, Hexologist. Oh
Big
my, that's
K,
the most obvious
big
choice.
K
How did I not
also,
think of that?
big
He
K.
goes every day. Yeah. I would pick Hexologist for sure.
Yeah,
A
so like
daily
Hexologist
stream?
is an
How can you beat that?
option. That's true. Yeah, I mean, one of the newer ones who is streaming daily would be Jimred Crypto.
And Jim Rat.
Another one for most consistent hex content could be Hodl Dog, could be Crypto Coffee, could be Maddie. So the Crypto Heartbeat is somebody mentioning in the chat. All right, let's go on. Most informative hex content.
Most informative. Let's see. Man, put it on the spot. Let me pull up my YouTube, I guess. Let's see here. Most informative. I mean, I would say, Jim Rat comes out with new stuff and he talks about lots of different stuff. Most informative.
So somebody mentioning you.
Yeah, I mean, I do deep dive into certain stuff. It's hard for me to recommend I don't know, these categories. Most informative. Richard Hart. There you go. Richard Hart for that one.
That is also good. BK says you, Coffee, or David Feeder.
Nice. Most entertaining hex content. That could be.
There I would name Richard Hart.
the one who twerks the most. That could be Jim Rat. He's funny. Let's see, entertaining. Maybe I'm not the best for selecting all these categories because I don't watch too many. I have to focus on the stuff that I'm building.
Hexo is pretty entertaining as well.
Oh my, yeah, I agree. I loved his new vlogging series. I promoted that on Twitter. He's doing like a Hex family thing. So like when people bring up stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I was entertained by that. I love that. But to think about all of them at once is hard for me.
Somebody says Randy Hilarski. Randy?
I don't watch too much of his stuff. I see him on other stuff a lot. And like I watched an interview just the other day with him on it.
Rex
yeah.
to Riches?
I mean, I find
Rex to
almost
Riches is
everybody
pretty
entertaining in
entertaining.
Hex, so it's kind of like it could be any streamer because I don't know. I watch for information more so than entertainment, so it's probably not a good question for me. You know what I mean? Like when you watch hex content, are you trying to learn something or just be entertained?
Yeah, like for this category, it's just like the entertaining part. Yeah,
Okay. I guess it could be both. Some people can do both and some are more entertaining than others. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. Who's your favorite Hexican newcomer?
Newcomer.
Like, let's say 2022.
I've talked with Cryptographics a lot. I like what he's doing. He does good research and stuff. Let's see. Good newcomer. Well, there's even newer guys. There's like this I've seen some of his content, the Maxim broadcast guy. He's like just he comes in with really good points on stuff. He's very honest. And I like that. I like honesty in our community and people putting forward their true thoughts. So I would say that guy and cryptographics like that.
Mhm, mhm.
But there's like so many to
And then
list.
the best,
I feel bad. Like if I don't
the
mention
next,
someone, someone's gonna feel bad. So I feel like these questions are gonna make. I feel like this should be a personal choice thing. But maybe it'd be good to add a drop down list of just tons of different streamers. I don't know how easily you can put that in a Google form, but just so
yeah,
people people have
that's the
a
thing. Yeah, that's why. No, that's why we make like several. You're like the. It's like the third time that I'm going over those categories with somebody on stream, that people get an idea. And I mean people know their Hexicans, so
yeah.
I. I don't think that people are like in front of this forum and like, oh, I don't know, like
Well, no, when you're by
who
yourself
is
and you're answering it
a
yourself,
Hexican
you don't
or
care what everybody else thinks because no one's going to see your responses. But
yeah,
if you
that's
ask
why we
someone
can.
live
That's
who
why
they
we're
think,
naming more. That's why we are naming more right now. You don't need to name like what you are writing into it. So that's why we are not
hmm.
making like your filling of of this page live on stream.
Oh well, I'm not like feeling. I'm just thinking. I I work on my own content a lot, so I don't have much time to watch a lot of other stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
I from what I've
But
seen
still, like,
recently,
who do you have in mind when it comes to her best hex onboarder? I have like 3, 4, 5 people in mind.
in my mind, I would probably give that one to because I was. It's kind of the category I was hoping to see. This one, like because I think it'd be a good competition to be like, yo, which Hexican is onboarding the most people? Who wouldn't want to win that award? Like that means that
Yeah, yeah, but
person is doing the
is
most
it the most
for the
is it the
community.
most people or the most volume? Or because, for example,
True.
TCC claims that he onboarded the most volume.
Right, with all the a couple
Somebody like
thousand people.
Hex Toys, somebody like Hex Toys, for example, might
Mm.
onboard the most individuals.
Yeah, what's I mean, the best Hex onboarder. I did a poll actually on Twitter. I was like, "Who onboarded you to Hex?" And then it was like Richard Hart was one of the ones, and then like anybody else was the
Mhm.
option, other option, and Richard was more than 50%. So I mean, he just basically automatically wins that one. But if he's not
That's
allowed to
true.
be a part of it, I think Crypto Coffee's doing amazing.
Of course, Richard is a Hexican. Richard is a Hexican. You can
Yeah,
put Richard Hart in every category if you want to.
but yeah,
I mean, maybe not
Dollar
like
Cost is good.
best uh, favorite Hexican newcomer might be not the best one
Yeah, he
for
won't be
Richard
that
Hart.
one. True, true. Yeah, but dollar cost, you bring up
But
a
I mean
good one.
that
He did thousands of
yeah,
people, and also Funding
yeah,
Gym gets into conversations with
yeah.
literal almost billionaires, if not billionaires, like Robert Kiyosaki and stuff like that. So I think
With
volume
actual
wise,
billionaires.
yeah.
So because of funding Jim, I met like several billionaires actually. Yeah.
Right, and that's powerful because they have a huge network as
Yeah.
well. You know, but also we want to change tons of people's lives, not just billionaires.
Okay. So who is the best Hex Alpha besides Richard Hart? Because he is in the chat, I need to name him right now. Big K.
Big K, Hex Alpha. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I would put myself into this category at least. I
Yeah.
would say Crypto Coffee. I think let's see. There's some newer guys, like there's some guys who talk about Hedron and stuff. So that could be alpha,
Who?
but that's not
Who?
hex. So I guess this is hex
John
alpha.
Wick.
It has to be hex alpha. I guess dollar cost.
Wales only, yeah. Wales only is a good one
Oh,
here as well.
I mean, dollar cost is the one who came up with the CD staking ladder strategy and got Funding Jim to do it and made him multi-millions from that strategy. So that's pretty good alpha, you know. That's like real world. Like, I followed this strategy and I made multi-millions with it, as opposed to not knowing about it. That's pretty convincing alpha.
Mhm.
Wendy's for tendies, yep. Oh, and you know, Motley as well.
Wave 3, yeah. Wave 3 TV, also good. The funniest streamer in Hex.
Let's see.
I mean, it's
Oh, I would pick Hexologist.
kind of
He really
silly.
does make me laugh and makes me
Yeah.
smile, genuinely. So I would pick that.
The best articulated Hex game theory. I mean, if you go with in written form, I would name Taylor Kennedy. You know, the guy who wrote the most Medium articles about Hex?
You say Taylor Kennedy? I haven't heard that name. Actually.
Yeah, Taylor.
Let's see. Best articulated Hex game theory. I mean, Wales talks about Hex game theory a lot, so that's maybe him. Let's see. Game theory.
Maddie All In.
Maddie All In. Yep.
I mean, Maddie has like a game theory weekly session, you know.
True. Yeah, the game theory gang. Yeah, I would put Maddie in there as well. Articulated game theory because it's long form as well, so you got to talk well for hours. Yeah, yeah. Most engaging Hexican on
The most
Twitter.
engaging Hexican on Twitter. I guess there is like stats on that or something like that.
Yeah, I mean Richard's got to win that one, but other than Richard, maybe let's see who's doing the best on Twitter. I do pretty good on Twitter.
Avid maybe.
Most engaging.
Avid Hex.
Man, there's so many
Hex
Hexicans that fill this
5555.
role. I would love a drop down menu. Oh, dude, Stake Hex 5555, hilarious. That's a great one. I love her posts. If it's her.
The next one, Hexican life of a party. In the last stream, we had Kareem live, and obviously we were agreeing that his name should be in that category.
True. Yeah, Kareem's awesome. Got to spend a few moments with him in several different places in Vegas the last time. He's super cool. Love his energy. That dude has energy when he walks into a room. So life of the party, Kareem, maybe Jim Rad as well, because he just gets along and can talk with anybody. I mean, almost every Hexican I've talked to is very social in my experience. Have a good conversation. It's not like, oh, we can't think of what to talk about or something like that. It's always just a great back and forth. So, but Kareem and Jim Rad, I would consider.
Other people say it's
Pretty
Freddy
close.
Quotes
Parties for sure.
Yeah, or Crypto Kool-Aid.
Crypto Kool-Aid, yep. Yeah, I had some good conversations with him too. He has some
Yep.
super cool watch. It's like super cool. That thing was like huge. It was a big chunk. That's Hexican.
And I mean, here, you know, yeah, here obviously KSB TV. There is no other option. So in the drop-down menu, you will only find KSB TV.
You have to. True. Yeah. Do you guys have separate YouTube channels for like the Pulse tour?
Now
and
we
everything?
have like since. Oh no, we just have like a German speaking YouTube channel and an English speaking YouTube channel. Because KSB TV, KSB is like the abbreviation for Kryptosparbuch, and Kryptosparbuch in German is already like nothing hex specific, you know, it does not have the name hex in it, and it just means like crypto savings account in English. So KSB TV also fits for the whole Richard Hart ecosystem in our point of view. And here, like with KSB TV, you know, with the coin Trinity as a logo.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome logo.
Fine.
Not gonna lie, I love how the hat is the exact same as the shirt as well. Looks awesome.
Yeah. And like with this shirt, we are having a category for this shirt as well, like later on. So what do you think is like the best Hexican TikToker? I mean, we only have like two big ones. What I know.
I know one. I'll say because I met him in in Las Vegas, the Hex Academy, I think he goes by. He became the biggest one,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they deleted him, and so he made several more, and he's gonna build it back up. He didn't give up. So yeah, PulseChain Academy. Is that what he goes by? Maybe it's PulseChain Academy.
Yeah. And the other two ones, like the old ones, what I know of, what
Oh
are
yeah, Super
Super
Hex.
Hex Win
Yep.
or El Hexidente. El Hexidente is the other TikToker, what I know.
Yep.
The next two ones you don't need to answer if you don't want to, because you know you
I
could
think
get at risk or something like that. You know, you could be like hottest Hexican May. You could put your own name in there if you want to.
Oh man, hottest Hexican. Let's see. I guess it was really hot in Las Vegas, so whoever lives in Vegas, they're probably one of the hottest male Hexicans.
I mean, in the last stream, some people in the chat said Gold Key, but
oh yeah, I met Gold Key, dude. Yeah, he was really cool. He was really cool. I met him and talked by the pool. Got some pictures with him. I think I posted them at least on my Instagram. Yeah, super cool looking guy. And cool to talk
so
to.
what did the comment say? What did your comment say on Instagram? Like, who is this awesome looking dude next to you? Or
no, I what did I say? I don't even know if I put a caption with it. It was just, I just posted it. It was like fun time in Vegas, partying with Hexicans. I think it might have just been like that. I might have tagged him. I'm not so good at the tagging thing yet.
Do you want to answer the next one, like the hottest female, the hottest Hexicans female, or
all right? You go first.
I go first. It's a hard one. It is a hard one. It is a hard one. Actually,
we're so blessed. We have so many to choose from in the Hex community.
Yeah,
but I mean, we have so many beautiful women in the Hex community, so I'm not going to single anyone out. I think we have way hotter girls than most of crypto, my opinion, and they're real too. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, I know what I need to say right now because otherwise Abit will be mad at me. So I need to say like Jory Hex here, like his girlfriend. Here.
There you go. There you go.
And next one, the Hexican Designer of the Year, graphic designer, fashion designer, or creative art designer.
This has to be Suzanne. Suzanne,
yes, has to be
Suzanne was that fashion show was awesome. The stuff she designed for all of us, and the runway and the clothing line, the Swarovski crystals are so shiny. Are you wearing Suzanne's right now, or is that something else?
Yeah, no, that is Suzanne's stuff.
Yeah. Actually, here, one sec. I gotta over here.
You also got something awesome, cool. You got a PulseChain hoodie.
Yeah. She said, like, since I'm K4K, this is Pulse to Pulse. But yeah, really cool. I think she had the most. I think she tried the most, I guess, daring thing and put the most work into designing. If we're talking about clothes designing, you know, I guess we could say designing websites and stuff like that as well could be included. But this was what came to mind. So Suzanne Art, check her out.
And when it comes to websites, we still have another category.
Oh, okay.
So which Hex musicians do you know? Like the Hexican Artist of the Year?
Oh, well, we got Freddie Quotes. We got well, let's see. Yeah, definitely Freddie Quotes to be on the list. Black Hexican. Those are some awesome raps. Oh, and what Corey, an investor, awesome guy, awesome music. Got to be on stage with all of them at the fashion show. It was awesome. So really, really enjoy those three. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, those are the top three that come to mind right. There's others too. I can't think of their names exactly right now, but
that's true. Yeah, but I also would say that those are the top three. And because you say website development and so on, the Hexican Developer of the Year we also have.
Oh, I got one for that. I would say.
I got two for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely several. Like, there's been lots of great websites popping up, but most of them, not most, I guess, but a lot of them that I see that are nice and good are the Victor and I think Felix is the other guy's name. But they also
I think
maintain like
it was
Richard's
pretty
websites and
cool.
stuff. So I would,
Yeah.
and they
Okay.
also they do.
Okay. That's an interesting one.
What's that?
Then I have like two different ones. Then I have like two other ones
Hmm.
because
I mean, you guys have awesome websites.
lots of
So.
people. Yeah, no, not really us. Awesome people. What I see could be nominated as Hexicans Developer of the Year are Alex from Icosahedron
Oh, there you go. Oh,
or
and Dipcatcher.
Dipcatcher
Yeah.
and Dipcatcher. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
that
are like my
I
two
mean,
top nominations.
I love the idea. He's doing like a 30-day challenge of trying to launch a contract or something, and he's like streaming it.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
that's super cool. I I hope it's just for, I don't know. It just seems odd to do it so publicly, I guess, or rush it in 30 days and like try and do it like that.
Yeah, I
You
mean
want good,
the rush
code,
only the rush,
not
but the rush
video
only comes
recorded
to
code written,
the rush. But the rush comes from the HSI stakes which come to auction. There
Hmm.
is where the rush comes from. Uh,
Yeah, but we don't.
and
Do
that's
we
the
want
case.
rushed code that millions of dollars flow into? No. So like, I don't. I think it's interesting. Like, it's definitely cool content to like watch a developer developing things and stuff. I just don't like the rush aspect. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like really rushing because, for example, the diamond hand contract wasn't there at the first day of minting the perpetuals, but it was there on the 10th or 11th day, you know. So he is pretty fast when it comes to code, and with all the perpetuals, it showed us that he's like, even if he, I mean, is he really rushing it? You know, like 30-day challenge can also be like clickbait. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
I've thought of that
he
as
knows
well.
pretty good if he's capable of doing it in this time frame or not. You know, I'm pretty sure about that.
I just want everybody to keep the money they invest and not lose it to bugs. It's very important for long term holding and contracts that lock stuff up for a long time.
Yeah, that's true, but you know, he's not like reinventing the wheel there. So
Mhm.
it's it's looks
But
pretty
yeah,
good. So
he
let's
does
see.
good
But
stuff.
I mean the idea behind it I definitely like, you know, the idea of Poly that people can pool their Hedron together in order to have access to bigger HSI auctions. So
Mhm.
that gives like the whales a little bit more competition. Because maybe they thought, okay, if I just exchange a large enough HSI stake, I can just get that back with cheap Hedron, so to speak, you know, because the Hedron price is not reflecting the value of all the shares. And then this whale can just do that in theory like over and over again in a 90-day loop.
Mhm.
But with something like the poly contract, this whale could get problems because he could get like another entity who is bidding at the same stakes, you know.
Yeah.
So they could like bid each other a little bit more up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting
The
stuff.
idea is definitely cool. Who is this year's community leader, male and female?
Let's see. I'd say RG3 is what comes to mind right away. Hexologist, I feel, is like a leader in the community. People respect him, and he has that. He has a stream with Richard and Crypto Coffee coming up, so that's pretty sweet. Oh, and
Mhm.
then I guess for female, oh well, Kaylin, I guess. Kaylin and
Mhm.
let's see. I mean, there's tons of people in the Twitter Spaces as well, and I know there's lots of women in there. So I think, oh, there's so many there. I don't want to single any out, so I'll say a lot of the women in the Spaces do a good job. So I'll say that. Kaylin and lots of the and Lindsay the Hexican as well. I met her in Las Vegas. That was really cool. She's a really upbeat person and fun to be around and inspiring as well. Oh, Hexican of the year. Whole year. Let's see. Female of the year. Oh, I would actually for this one I would pick SJ probably because she's doing amazing work with Richard Hart's Sci-Vive book and audiobook, which I've listened to multiple times and I've read the book. And she does an awesome job. Like she goes at a good pace and she does daily videos. Like you can't really ask for more stuff, for someone who's putting in the effort. But yeah, and also I would recommend Kaylin again for that. Let's see, male skin of the year. T-Money. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, well maybe let's go with I guess either Richard or Hexologist. One of those two.
Yeah, like I disagree at your first nomination.
I couldn't resist. But yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. So what's the awards look like?
It will be a digital trophy
Okay.
as an NFT. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah. And it will be a yearly thing. So that's like the Grammys, like the Oscars. That should be our yearly Hexi Awards.
Oh, that's super cool. Awesome. Who do you guys have? Do you guys have somebody making the NFTs? Is that Steak and Apes or something?
Maybe, but no, I don't know if it's like him. But we have somebody making the NFTs. Yes.
Awesome.
Likely Power City.
Ah, cool. Let's see. Wasn't there? I do have to get going soon, but there was one other thing I think we had other than the cruise. There was the awards, cruise, the San
The
Diego.
Thursday for our things, it is more like general crypto stuff. So my next question would be like, what? So generally speaking, what are you excited the most about the crypto market right now?
Well, we were saying this in the green room, but I think this is the best opportunity for anybody getting into crypto nowadays. So I like the idea of marketing and getting as many people into the best possible thing, which is Hex, probably pre-fork of PulseChain because you get a double. And so just getting some people in, you're possibly changing those people's lives for the rest of their time here on this planet. And the people that they know that they get in changes their lives. That's how I see it, is like we're touching these people's lives and getting people into this perfect opportunity, something that goes up 10,000x in less than 2 years. Just is 90 some percent off because it's just lower liquidity than like Bitcoin in them. And everything else is down, but we're going to get up the hardest most likely, and up the highest the fastest is how I see it. So I think I'm most excited about the life-changing opportunities people have right now and leading into the Pulse chain. It's very similar to when Ethereum was launching, in my opinion, and how people changed their lives forever when they traded a Bitcoin for 2,000 Ethereum back then, and now you only get like 13 Ethereum per Bitcoin. So they did very, very, very well, and that's not even including like you're not even accounting for all the USD appreciation. So it did so many times better than their original investment. So I like the life-changing quality of crypto.
Yeah, cool. And I mean, if you're speaking about onboarding, so what do you think about all those forks already like taking place? So what do you think about Hex on other chains?
Oh, Hex on other chains? Well, it depends on the chain. If it's a chain that gave everybody an airdrop that didn't really know about it or care about it, that's basically infinite sell pressure forever. I made some tweets about this in the past, and Richard shares the same view in the past on forks like that. So I don't like. Maybe Hex can do well on them, but I don't think it's helpful to have the main chain token be constantly dumped down. And if you have any liquidity tied to that initial like that token, it's going to constantly bring the price down. So, I'm sure it could pump and do well, but I think I like the stuff that I'm more certain on, and I think that's PulseChain and Hex on Ethereum. And some people have seen some outsized returns on those other forks, but I think long term it's just not as good of an option, in my opinion.
Who did see that? Because I'm leaning even more towards your side, and I mean I say it publicly on Coffee Stream that I don't think that something like ETHW or ETF will never be worth more than 1, maximum 10% of the Ethereum hex value. Because as soon as it gets like over 5%, people are recognizing it. Other people
Right.
are like talking positively, and that's like how the message goes to more inactive, bigger users, and they then say, "Oh, okay, that's like 5% of my portfolio on this other chain for free. Let's go there, let's connect there, and let's push the price 10-20% down because they are obviously going to trade big volumes."
Yep. And people aren't being incentivized on those other chains to pair their copies together and earn an extra token on top. Like PulseX will have incentive programs for people to pool Hex and Hex on Pulse together. And so I think that is likely to have more value than any other chain. And so it's cool to see like what happened whenever those other chains launched, because Hexicans were so tech savvy because we've been practicing this stuff for months on how to connect to other test nets or other main nets.
Yeah,
And
so it was the thing which even made more volume than the native coin itself in a couple of days. Yeah.
yeah, and so Hexicans are super smart. We're ahead of the curve. Everybody else is just finding out slowly over time. It's basically how I see it. And if we just keep winning like this, I think we cannot go unnoticed for much longer.
Mhm.
And so it's really
But you said something what I'm like questioning as well. Like you said something like I'm sure there are some Hexicans who made a fortune on this other chain, and I'm questioning that like a lot because I also had like many come in the chat room on the live stream and saying like, yeah, but it's up like 150x or something like that. But when I look in the 4-hour chart, and I look like at those first few 4-hour candles, there was like no to nearly no liquidity. So it was like one guy, it was like
right,
somebody who made this first 10x move, and then you had about those 20-30,000
right.
dollars of total liquidity in the form of ETHW and Hex in the pool that
Yeah.
you
Someone made money doing it,
collect.
and some people lost money doing it. I just don't like things that there is not a clear future for. And there's less tooling over there on ETHW, and there's probably likely to be less development over time. And so I just don't mess with that very much. I'm it's like when you already find the winning combo, you don't really have to look so much anymore. The other stuff
Mm.
there will be times where coins will come out. It doesn't matter what you're invested in. There's going to be something that's outperforming the stuff you're in for a certain amount of time. Could be a month, could be 3 months, could be half a year. And does that make that coin better? You could argue that, but I think I like the stuff where I don't have to look at it. I could come back in 2, 3 years and I know I've made a good investment. Is that how I feel about getting into ETHW and Hex over there? Would I feel good holding that for 3 years? No, not as much as I would in the other options I have, especially the one where I'm going to get a copy of Hex on PulseChain. So I wouldn't recommend people go over there. That's why I don't really talk about it much. Just I don't think it needs attention over there?
Somebody like Marco the Hexican in the chat is mentioning like it's only 2 weeks, so gotta give it some time, fellas. I don't disagree. I don't agree too much to that, because when Hex launched on Ethereum chain, there was already like since the first day good amount of liquidity, good.
Uh-oh. Did I lose connection? Oh. Hey, Hex Lion. Uh-oh.
I think we lost HEX Lion. So I'm just gonna hop in with you guys and
The
close
ETH guys came and cut his cord.
Absolutely. Well, we sure appreciate you coming on stream with us today, K4K. That was really great to hear you go through all the Hexi awards. I think he's back now.
Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed that, Kaylin. Watching me sweat on every one.
Is he kind of back? You back, Hex Lion?
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know. I just had like
It was like 10 seconds.
short. Yeah, a short, like I don't know what.
I think
because
it was
I still want to I still want to argue here for a moment,
Sure.
because
We got a few more
I
minutes.
disagree here with Marco, because I don't see that. I don't think that we should encourage new people to go on ETHW or ETF, and doing so, there should come new buying pressure. If we don't tell people like about those forks, those past forks, or should we like tell people to split up the money to get like their and their amount of hex? I don't think so, and I like when it comes to ETHW or ETF, I see them like less valuable than something like Ethereum Classic, for example. So I guess like reaching 10% of the value of Hex on the Ethereum chain was was the biggest thing that Hex on the W chain will reach.
Yeah, I like the stance of, hey, if everyone else goes and buys up the price over there and it goes up to parity, good for me. I get a free 2x on my Hex bags without any risk. So I guess you could say I missed out on opportunity cost of I could have rode that up or something, but there is risk there. So I'd rather just go with PulseChain and get your game plan ready for PulseChain, because the first few moments will matter. And I think there's going to be a lot of money to be made. So I think maybe ETHW is a good like first testing out of like how that goes. But in other ways, it's still not, because it doesn't have like PulseX. Like I don't even know if they have a. They may have it by now, but at launch they didn't have like a DEX ready that you could easily connect to and thousands of people join. And so I think a lot of people who got into ETHW stuff early with their stuff and then stream about it and talk about it, it's almost like confirmation bias. Because if you're the first guy to go in and then you have an audience and you tell hundreds or thousands of people afterwards and they go and pile in, you're like, look at it, it's still going up, it's gonna keep going up. And then you just realize, oh, it's, if you have an influence, you have to be careful about what you say and where you get people's attention going, because people will pile in after you and make it look like what you're saying is true or what your decision is right just because the price is going up. Like I could talk about some other coin after I've gotten in, tell everybody how I got it. Guess what? I guess that price might go up after that video, but I don't do that. So if other people want to do that and share knowledge, they can do that. But I think as your influence grows, you have to be more and more careful about what you advertise to people.
I mean, how deep have you been looking into the stuff? Because there is one thing what I haven't figured out like really good for myself, and this is like how Uniswap V3 liquidity pools will do on PulseChain. Because Bluebomb in the chat is saying, for example, that Uniswap V3 pools will be a strong competition for Pulse X. And I'm really not sure like how this will work out, if the V3 pools are actually have value or not, because we have this the AMM bot going on, recalculating the value of the different pools
I
and
think
harvesting
people.
like all the liquidity.
I think there will be value to extract by using V3, and so people will go and they'll make V3 positions and use that because it's copied over on PulseChain. And so that's real usage of the chain. People are extracting value from the chain if they want to. They can go and do that, which is awesome. It's blockchain technology. People can use whatever they want to use. I think PulseX has a lot of things that can incentivize more liquidity. We also have a great jump head start, and we only have a few more months until we have the ability to have all of the features V3 has anyway. Like I think the 1st of April or something like that next year, we could potentially have an upgraded version of PulseX. I'm not saying like they said they would develop that, but I don't see why we wouldn't. And there's advantages to disadvantages between V2 liquidity providing and price appreciation versus V3, where people can set up small ranges and capture market orders so that when people go and buy, they just throw their liquidity rate where you bought and the price doesn't move. So V3 kind of allows higher level liquidity providers and market makers to kind of control the price a bit more, because they can be much more methodical and strategic about where they put their liquidity and where they like to exit and stuff. Whereas in V2 and PulseX, whenever people want to get in and provide liquidity, you're going to get some impermanent loss, but it gets counteracted by the incentive token and all that you'll be earning, and also all the volume that should be there. So you should be earning lots of fees, but it discourages tons and tons of liquidity being put in, which is good for price, because we don't want $1 billion of liquidity on some hex thing or in PulseChain, because then the price isn't going to move without more billions. We want just enough liquidity so that the price actually does super well. And I think V2 is best for that. And it's also the only option we have right now anyway. But yeah, I think V3 will get lots of usage as well. I don't know if it'll ever overtake it in the initial few months before we get to V3 expiry, being able to use that license, or that license expiring, I guess. But yeah, I think it will be used.
And just one security thing, Hex Live is mentioning, definitely use a new wallet on other chains. I would even go like one step further, a new wallet with a new private key. So I won't just move it like to account 2, for example, on MetaMask. Right. So really do make, for example, if you're using Google Chrome, you can just edit a new profile, viewer profile for Google Chrome, and each and every profile can have a different MetaMask, and then you have like easy navigation between your different, because you can just name like one profile Ethereum proof of work, one profile PulseChain, one profile like Ethereum chain. And I know that lots of people, for example, sacrificed from their staking wallet for Pulse and PulseX. And even when it comes to the PulseChain fork, I would also do a little bit more work, create a new wallet with a new private key, pretty secure, create the private key on a hardware wallet, for example. And then once PulseChain comes live, you get the coins to the wallet where you sacrificed from. And if that is like your main staking wallet, you can have your second wallet ready, and then you just make those 2 quick sends, of your Pulse and your PulseX, and then you are good to go. Maybe you just you don't send like 100% of your Pulse, you only send like 99.9% of your Pulse, in order that you still have something on the old,
and maybe do a test transaction
in order to,
as well, a small amount to the new addresses and stuff. Yeah, I definitely recommend people get their hardware wallet security correct before this PulseChain launch, so that whenever you get, like, if you sacrificed an address that isn't as secure as it should be, you are going to want to set up this permanent long-term vault thing that you almost never touch, at least so it's more secure than just a MetaMask hot wallet. I don't think that's good for holding something that may appreciate more than 10,000x in a few years. So, people are like, I don't want to secure it super well or get into that because it's only this much. Well, we know people in the Hex community who put in $100 and it became $1 million. So whenever you're trying to secure your wealth, I think you should think about what the value might be in the future. And if that would bother you to lose that amount, then you should secure it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and yeah, I also played like better safe than sorry, so I'm going to the Hex birthday. Hope to see you guys there. Hex Live. Awesome. Looking forward to see you there.
Awesome. Hey, I gotta get going actually, because I'm doing a sport event today, so I gotta get going. But thanks for having me on.
All right, so
you have any last questions? Quick ones.
No, actually, my last question would be if you have a question for me. If not, then I would say thanks for coming on. And if you want to tell the audience anything, like how to come in touch with you, where you are, what are your sites, or something like that, then please go ahead and tell the audience.
Man, I mean, I actually do have lots of questions for you, but because I don't think we've gotten to talk too much in person. We've like seen each other at events and stuff, but haven't really had a long, I don't even know where'd you come from, which country and stuff, like exactly, or where your town was. And, that's just interesting stuff I'd want to learn. But I guess I'll just ask, where can people find your stuff? Because I might do some clips and stuff of this video as well. But yeah, where can people find all your stuff?
So if they want to communicate with me personally, they can reach out to me on Telegram at HEX_Lion. And all the things we talked about, like what the team is doing and planning right now, you see it here in the window. It's ksb.tv, and there you find like all of our things, what we are doing, like the Google Docs to the Hexi Awards, like the link to the Hex Cruise, or hexcruise.com is like a direct link to that as well. And if you go on the meetup section, you see like all the details to the Hex birthday and all that stuff. And on Twitter, we are either with Kryptosparbuch or KSBTV as well.
Awesome. And I'll just
don't let K4K drive golf carts. Why that? Did you made an accident?
During the golf thing, we were like, me and Marco were together, and I was drifting on the golf course in the golf cart while he held up a PulseChain PulseX HEX flag that was right in front of the camera as they recorded it. I hope that makes it into the final video that they were making. But yeah, it was. We almost tipped the golf cart. But yeah, anybody watching this, you can find my stuff at K4K Crypto on YouTube, K4K Crypto on Twitter. I also have a Discord. There's almost 1,000 members in there. Just started a couple weeks ago. If you want to like talk directly, there's also Telegram group. So it's t.me/Pulse Theory, and it's for discussing, the best strategies, figuring out so there's certain things that people think of. They're like, oh, what's the answer to this? We would like to figure it out. Sometimes it requires some math and figuring out. And so it's more like higher level stuff in there usually. But that's usually where you can find me. And there's more to come. So stay tuned. Thanks for having me on. Uh-oh.
Read it.